Yes, all the technical aspects are down right now. We got it down. And I'm here today with Victor Buttaro, who is one of our top performing agents here at Prodigy Real Estate, and it's always entertaining. It's an entertaining day, for sure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
One of fits and starts, and it fits the mold of our discussion, which is contentious negotiations in real estate. But it kind of fits the kind of atmosphere.
And the market that we're in, yeah.
But anyway, it's always exciting and fun to be doing these lives. And, you know, they always come with their series of, you know, of little things that happen. And we know that for technical reasons, we gotta quickly shoot off. And if you're back again, thanks for coming back. And if, you know, if you catch us later, it's okay too. So we'll go from there.
Sure.
So, Vic, we're going to talk about contentious things, and there's like a few items that we want to get off the plate. So you could begin the part with the magic number. Start with the magic number.
The magic number we can
and what the magic number of real estate is.
$5,000. And it is the most contentious number when it comes to negotiations. That's when deals are lost over $5,000.
No matter what the price is.
It could be $1 million house. It could be a $700,000 house, $200,000 condo. The magic number is $5,000. And we had a situation.
Why do you think that is?
I think people start using their emotions because really in the scheme of things, $5,000 is peanuts when you're talking about a $700,000 deal and you're going to buy your dream home. But now you wait a month or you lose that deal, maybe the interest rates jump from 6% to 7%. Then those $5,000 wind up costing you tens of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Because you had to win. It becomes an emotional process where I want to win. No, I'm not going to budge. The seller has to come up $5,000, and then the seller has to go down $5,000. The buyer has to come up $5,000, and neither party wants to do it.
Yeah, this is the emotional part, which we call the intrinsic value, meaning that there's a piece.
Salutes.
We got everything going on.
That's true.
That's Ariona.
Unimprovised.
Yeah, we have a live audience. We don't want to forget the live audience. We have a full house. And you hold her in the front. We usually does live on Friday. I think this week we're going to be doing stats with Gary. I'll just be completely exhausted. If you see me at the end of the week and I'm probably not looking as refreshed, you'll understand why. And that was Ariona giving us a latest buzz on the allergy report.
It was just confirming what you guys said.
Right.
So we had the situation, remember a few weeks back when they made an offer on a property and we negotiated back and forth and we accepted the number.
I think this is the real issue. Who's right? Is
Nobody's
it the buyer
right.
Or is it the seller?
Nobody, because really...
I mean, I have there's two schools of thought, and I'll give you mine on this one thing. So the $5,000 negotiation is, I do think that, more often than not the $5,000, even in the hottest of real estate markets, depending on how many offers have come in,
of course,
you need to look at the fact of like where the other offers came in, if they came in.
correct.
So like if you were getting, let's say your house was on the market for $720 and you were getting offers like, and somebody came in, those offers passed and now the next offer is $715.
Right.
Right? So we get two offers, say someone says $725 and the house lists at $749. Let's give for instance. The next offer comes in at $720.
Right.
Now you have to be cognizant the market is kind of in a decline, right? So we're in a little bit of a decline, 4% from last year. What are you telling the seller?
My seller, I usually tell them, and this happens to be another case, is your first offer is usually your best offer. And sometimes people get greedy.
Declining market, yes.
And they say, let's just say you list the house at $750. And you get a solid offer, comes in $730, let's just say.
Right.
And there are no other offers there. But now the seller gets a little greedy, says, oh, you know what? Let me see if I can get a little more. Maybe I could get another $10,000. Maybe I could get $740. They wait, all of a sudden that offer is gone. They go, they look at another house, and they're gone. Now, a few weeks pass, no offers on the table, then the next offer comes in for less money. And they're like, well, what about that first offer? That ship has sailed.
Yes, I think this is where the trust process becomes an issue, whether they're trusting the process with the agent or they're not trusting the process with the agent. So I do think when you look at it from that perspective, you have to ask yourself, basically, you know, you have some experience working for you in that sense, but we've seen a lot of mistakes made. And I think this is where, like, a little bit, like, if you don't know a declining market, how to operate in it, you could make some really big mistakes. So making big mistakes in that sense is
there, I think as people let emotions take control of their rationale, right? Their rational thinking as a business decision now becomes an emotional decision. I'm going to stick it to them. It becomes about a matter of principle. So they stay away from the business. In my experience, it's easier for the buyer to come up the $5,000 because it's a few dollars a month more on the mortgage, so they don't feel it. But it's a solid figure for the seller. Instead of getting $730, they're going to get $725. It's immediate. Where the buyer come up under $10 a month, and so it's not. It's a lot easier for the buyer in that sense than the seller.
Yeah, I do think what I do want to say about that is that I mean, there's two schools of thoughts, because I'm always a believer what's in the hand is the only thing that's real. So people negotiate on things that they lost money. So when they say they're at the 749, do you know I lost $20,000 selling my house? The honest to goodness truth is your offer is basically what your house is worth.
Correct.
See,
it's what someone's willing to pay for it. Ready, willing, and able buyer. Yeah.
Willing to pay at that moment is exactly what the house. So, like you say, some people say, "Well, I took $150,000 off," and I'm like, "Well, you have to have something, a basis for that, not the idea. The idea doesn't make the number. It's the reality."
As we say, demand sets price.
But at the end of the day, that number specifically, that's basically. It's not established as a fact that the house is worth X, Y, Z. There's a general assumption. We do comps if they're done correctly, of course, and comparables. And there are certain things with marketing you could influence a little bit on the prices. But when it comes to making the final call, it does come down to what the first offer is. So when you're negotiating $5,000 and there's nothing else on the table, you could be negotiating $20,000 down. In a down market, it's very important to understand that I do think that offers do not come in as quickly as. So if a house is on the market 2-3 months and you get your first offer and you're negotiating $5,000, you're on the wrong side of the fence.
Well, the situation that we had, we're in a low inventory scenario.
That's the offer. Yeah, that's an interesting part.
Right, and we had the accepted offer at the number that we had, and then they could have had the house.
Right.
Now they have second thoughts. They want to renegotiate. They go back down. They want to renegotiate again. And now we're at the $5,000 mark. I call it the FAFU effect. Yeah. I'm not going to use expletives on video, but you can look up FAFU, what that is. And the person found out, right? So what happened is...
It was going to happen.
What happened is, in that time frame that they were messing around, someone came in with a nicer number, a much nicer number, and we kicked that offer out the window. Now, a few days later, now the buyer's agent is calling me, "Oh, any changes?" No, hey, we're in contract. We're in contract. So for $5,000 in a low inventory market, because there were no other houses in the area, that person, because of principle, they found out.
Being a buyer's agent's tough. No doubt about it.
I've been on that side, and I sympathize with the buyer's agent.
Because you have people, there's a general assumption of how things kind of work, and especially first-time home buyers, when you talk about emotions, it's very
have to
emotional.
educate them.
Yeah, and it's an emotional process. Sometimes the education process doesn't work, and it's hard. It's hard to keep people in line with what the expectations are. And what they'll do is they'll say, "Oh well, the market's going to decline," and they're not making first of all, it's
So-
called negotiating in good faith, right? So when you make an offer, the idea is, and if you're out there, your first time home buyer, you don't do this. Don't do this. Make the best honest choice at the given moment to make the offer. Now, you could have the inspection.
also, yeah.
You could have the inspection. You can negotiate on inspection items. But before you get to all that, make sure that if you go back and say, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, you pull the offer off the table and then go back 2 days later
You're
and
not
then
gonna be
re-up
taken
the
serious.
offer.
Well, that's what happened.
And that's how it goes wrong.
But what happens, even if they came in after that at full asking price, our sellers were wary of it because like these people are not serious. They're playing games. Now you lose credibility too.
And I don't think they were playing games. They just.
But
fear.
it gives the perception that, you know, I don't want to deal with that person because they reneged on that initial offer. It leaves a sour taste.
Yes, it's just when it comes down to it, it's an emotional process.
And again, it was
I do think-
$5,000, which, like you said, it's a trip to Cancun. That's what really.
Yeah,
that's what it comes
it's
down.
my favorite
You know.
line. I say it all the time. People will negotiate their quality of life for a trip to Cancun.
And this is a life
And I'm laughing. I'm laughing at the fact that some people put so much emphasis on $5,000. It's like you're going to be spending a lot more time in your residence, regardless of you're buying, selling, and moving to something else. And if those are the things that are holding you up, $5,000, it's silly. It is absolutely. I don't care on either side of this because essentially you definitely trade a trip to for a week, which some people do, for a single deal of $750,000, one way or another. If you're not making the $5,000 extra through the course of 30 years, or you're losing $5,000 in your mind, regardless, it's a silly prospect to believe that we deal with this all the time.
I mean,
So emphasis on is the $5,000 number. This is 18 years for me. Every deal.
and you know what's funny? At a listing presentation, we
Yes, we talk about this all the
we
time.
predict the future because we sit with our clients. We say we've been doing this for many, many years, and there's a magic number that we have. And lo and behold, we told them at the listing presentation it's $5,000, and here we are. And they forget that we had that conversation.
I always say the 5 fingers. They always make the best slap. So
And people are.
if you can get slapped with a $5,000 bill, this is the way to do it. It's too emotional of a process for people to quite understand that.
Moving is a commitment.
Yeah.
Selling,
Which is something
is
else
a
we wanted to
commitment,
talk
which
about.
is another topic, and it's part of the well. That's when we talk about like for sale by owners, or even people that want to list a house with an unrealistic price, or they just want to test the market, right? They don't realize that now we live in the digital age where Zillow, Trulia, all these companies, they leave a permanent footprint. So if I list my, I don't know, $800,000 house, and I say, I want to see if I can get $1 million for it. Let me throw it in there. It shows that it was listed, it expires, it doesn't sell. It will permanently be there that it was listed and did not sell. Now,
Permanent records and the digital world.
and
Everything is permanent.
that causes damage because then we have to come in and guess what?
Ariana's even giving us a look. Everything's permanent. Include those photos. So be careful what you do.
And
Yes.
text messages.
I had text messages.
Oh yes.
Facts.
We are interactive with the audience here,
But-
folks. We gotta. But
And that's
it
what
is-
happens. But then
Is
we
it
come
true
in.
text messages? Oh yes, text messages. are
Text
not-
messages can be,
I know.
they can be subpoenaed in court. So I know a lot of people get in trouble with that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's happened. So then we have to undo that damage because we've taken listings where
You don't want to do damage in the digital world.
Well, we
That's
have to
basically-
undo because then we have to field questions. Why didn't the house sell? What's wrong with the house? Things like that. So my advice to all the potential sellers out there: if you're not serious about selling your house or committed to moving, don't list your house. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
you're gonna make a mistake.
You're gonna cause
I
damage
think
to
it's-
yourself.
I think long term, for sale by owners make this mistake often enough to say that even your for sale by owner prices are still locked in.
You know how many for sale by owners, I wound up getting them more money than their original list price that they were for sale by owner. We had one in the Rolling Hills
Rolling Hill Green.
Green. And the homeowner had a for sale by owner, and she was at $550 for sale by owner.
Right.
We took on the list and we got her $585.
Right.
So it covered even our commission, and she got her number.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no way she was gonna ever get the $585 on her own.
Oh, it was listed at 550, so she could have even taken less.
She was probably gonna take less, and she
Yeah,
would have left about $50,000 on the table easily. And it's at the end of the day they lose, you know.
Yeah. So that's where. So talk about one thing when the house goes on the market. I think another thing is your house prepared to be on the market. Showings is a problem.
Showings. Now, again, it's a commitment. If you're going to list your house for sale, you can't plan your Disney vacation during the middle of a sale. Say, look, you put your house for sale today, and 3 days from today,
You can,
decide.
but you gotta have the key, or you have a lock.
You have to have access. You can't have. You have to show the house. If you're not showing the house, it's not going to sell. Agents need to bring potential buyers in. And you don't want to miss any of those appointments. You can miss a couple here and there. But when you're missing appointments, each appointment that you miss is an opportunity. That could be the one that's going to buy that
You know,
house.
it's funny, in the declining market, I wrote an article about this years ago, about 2009, 2010. I used to write a blog, and it was actually put in Realtor.com. It was about this one statistic about the chances of a person that cancels or declines an appointment, the chances of getting the person back, that same person to come back to that house to go possibly make a bid,
Sure.
is only 30%.
Sure.
So only 1/3 of people who saw the house, who if you ever canceled on that person, there's only a 30% chance they're going to return. That is potential money that's being left off the table for us, because demand sets price, right? So if you remove that piece of demand, you're talking about 30% loss of demand. It's a demand side push. I don't care what it is. A home, anytime someone sees the house, this is another thing. We deal with a lot of stuff like, oh, I'm tired, I want to deal with the buyers who come in and out. That's what you mean about the commitment process. They're not fully into, they want it to be fast and they want it to be easy. Yes, the idea is that, but when the markets get like this, and there are, so the average sale now came up
Even sellers
over 100
too
days.
have some weird requests. I don't want to move in the winter. I don't know.
It was
you know
too
what?
cold.
I want to show the house on the third moon of the month. You know, I've got ridiculous. I'm like, what? Well, because I can only show it on Thursday evenings, and I don't want to be bothered because you have to, if you.
So basically, the St. Joseph statue, right?
Well, I like the St.
Well,
Joseph
let me just give
statue.
you a little scenario.
I like that.
It
It
is a good
works.
idea.
It works.
But all the effort it takes to put the St. Joseph statue
Has to
in the
be
ground.
upside down by
Right.
the sale side.
But you gotta make sure you clean the bathroom. Because all the effort it takes to dig up the hole, this is basic features that somebody should be paying attention to. Sometimes get let off the table, like clutter or
And I
decluttering.
say-
So yes, the idea is go out and buy a St. Joseph statue, but you should actually be buying a plastic bin. Or a shed.
Well, I tell
Or
people-
something to keep the clutter down.
Yeah.
And I see so many people think that, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's always a stroke of luck in these things. And it's like, it never hurts. And, for a religious person.
I told the
religious people,
sellers-
I think it's great. I think it works. I do think it works. I do. There is some, it's a manifestation, I believe, at the end of the day.
It works.
Positive vibes, positive results. But
Speaking of that,
you
the
can't do
bathroom-
this. You
I
can't
tell-
do this without cleaning, without like doing the basic stuff.
Well, three things I tell people.
Can't
This
focus
is
on
how I personally buy homes. If I take out a buyer, I use my eyes, my ears, and my nose. Okay.
Right.
When you look at a picture, you can't smell the picture, and you can't hear it. You can see it. But when I look for things, is the area noisy, or is there a foul odor in the basement? Is it musty?
Yep. There's
Okay.
water, signs of water.
That, and I could tell because that's one of the biggest turnoffs. If if I go with my wife to buy a house and there's some kind of smell, she's like, forget it, I'm turned off. I don't care how nice that, you can't get over that smell. It's funny, but we're talking tens of thousands of dollars because of things like this.
Couple stuff is always fun when we're buying houses.
Oh, yes.
I've done a few of them. I've had people actually walk out of the house. I had couples that would go into the house. Mm-hmm. One would stay, the other one would walk out.
Right.
And it's always entertaining when you deal with married couples and people who are about to get married or buying a house. It's like what happens is it's an emotional game, and one of the things is one person will smell it, the other person will say it's not a big deal, the house is gorgeous, it's not that much, and then the person, it's like there'll always be somebody in the mix that won't like something specifically, and it has nothing to do with the aesthetics.
No.
It has to do with they smell something strange. I don't like, it gives me, and you're gonna think this is crazy. There's another study, I'm big into study stuff, you know that, so there's another study about how smell affects decision making.
Yes.
So it's like, that's why bakeries and things like that, you know, if you want to create appeal, right, there are certain smells, like a sweet smell.
That's why it opened
A house that smells sweeter actually has more law than a house that smells like a little bit more sour.
Well,
or how do I say, like, if you cook fish, and you leave that in the house, and it's like, well, we had fish dinner. But believe it or not, there is some indication that type of stuff will actually, you can, the response to that is that if the smell is a negative smell, it leads onto the negative part of the brain and the negative experience.
Because I start thinking, I mean, I've been home.
It's physiological.
I asked myself, that they had a dead body in there? It smells like death in here, and I'm like, is there a body under the boards? I mean, there was.
You could have this. You could, yeah. This is definitely.
And
oh goodness.
I don't care.
We could have just a show on horror stories. Because I could be honest with you, I've been in some places that you don't get the smell of your nose for days.
And you know what it is? The sense of smell is mostly attached to your memory. I can never get that smell. It gets
you don't know if it's there are places that literally smell so bad. It's like stitched into your brain. So it's like literally, and you can really, I mean, we've got a few. We were just one in, I'm gonna say it, we were one in Brick. Me and Angela went to a place. Oh my goodness. I've never. She says we've been to some bad places.
There was one that we went to. It was a multi-million-dollar home. Remember, I'm not going to mention the area. You know.
Oh yes.
And there was cat feces all over that basement. I thought you were going to throw up that day. It was. We couldn't wait to get out of it.
I for some reason, I don't know. Ariel, you have that problem with smell? What? It could like induce you to like almost.
And this is a very uncomfortable conversation. You know, I got to tell the client, hey, you know, your house smells horrible. How do you know? But you have to have that conversation. You have to say, look, I'm getting bad feedback. Your house smells like there's dead bodies.
I have a friend that watches these things all the time, and I have a good story about the whole smell thing. It was until I got to a point, it was really bad, and they were like really in bad financial shape at the time. Thankfully, they're great now, and they still talk.
With the dog?
The dog. They had the dog with the ear
infections
infection.
in the ears, yes.
And the house generally smelled very good. And then the next thing we know, we're getting like the feedback is constantly about the smell. We literally I say, look, we got to do something with the dog. Not being bad, of course. That's first they're like, well, what do you want me to do with the dog? Like,
take it for a walk. Get it out of the house.
We do want you to keep your dog, but like we were like, maybe you should keep it somewhere else, like for a couple of weeks while we do. And lo and behold, it's sold about 3 days after not having the dog in the house in a bad market, and it was like we're going months, and always the thing came up. So but this is the type of feature in a more, how do you say, in a slower market. These are the types of things that are going to fall into the buyer's mind. We're still not in a seller's market to the degree that you'd want to be.
I mean, at the end of the day, and this is me, if I'm spending $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 on a house, I have expectations. It's almost $1 million that I'm spending. So
So what you
people,
saying is,
when you want top dollar for your house, spruce it up a little bit. You can't demand that.
lose the stink.
Lose the stink. And I've done it where sometimes I'm brutal with the feedback.
Sometimes you have to be. Sometimes you have to be. But you know, I do think that it's always, oh, this is entertaining today. Maybe 3 false starts get you a first down. And today was.
Keep something.
Oh, Ariana wanted to put out. She brings a perfume, but not us guys are lucky enough to fit like a 20-ounce bottle in their back pocket. Well, you know, we're lucky we can hold a small thing of like sports deodorant.
Yeah.
Advantage of being a female realtor, we have a big bag.
Right? They get well. Hey, look, you never know who's carrying
I
the
could
baby.
be like Indiana Jones and carry a satchel, you know, a man purse. It's okay.
Anyway,
Mary carries a purse.
There you go.
oh, this is getting too far. But anyway, it's like I'm laughing so much I'm sweating.
That's good.
Yeah, you have a jacket on.
But yeah, no, it's a you know, as much as we like to joke around, it's a serious business. At the end of the day, people forget that this is high stakes.
It's
I
$750,000
mean, we sold a $2 million house. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of money. This is not a pair of shoes.
That's a story on.
Oh, that we could have a reality TV show based on that one if you want. But it'd be full of expletives. We'd probably lose our license.
Yeah, let's not go that far. We're not going to do that today. But it's always like it's entertaining. But the couple of things is that this is contentious. You are dealing with multi-million-dollar deals in some cases, but most things being in the $700, $600 range. Remember, $5,000 is definitely something to pay attention to, and then always want to keep yourself aware that you can lose thousands of dollars on some small issues
Absolutely.
like you know, making sure the house smells 100%. Very big issue.
Did you have issues with appliances ever? And I call that the $50,000 refrigerator
Yes.
or the $30,000 chandelier. It's not
It
$30,000, but I've had a chandelier that cost a homeowner tens of thousands of dollars because they didn't want to.
Don't play lotto with your equity. Lottery tickets are not meant for real estate. So I always say if you're going to win the lottery, I think overall the fundamentals of real estate is you're not going to buy and sell in the market and you're going to win like some type of like, I got a great price, I sold a great price. You sell and buy in the same market you operate in. So like if you're selling here and depending on the overall condition of the market, some people are going to do better, some people are going to do worse, but to the degree that it's negligible, most people aren't going to
One thing
realize
that I
big gains in real estate unless you're an investor.
in this market, and I always tell my clients, I pride myself in getting them top dollar for their home.
Oh, we'll get it. There's no doubt about it.
And
We have Kerry in the room and our marketing.
we have
people. They
our
better,
marketing is state of the art.
they better be doing their job and
Ain't
getting those.
nobody do it like us.
You guys are phenomenal because you guys get me the top dollar for the listings.
It wouldn't be alive without your owner watching the sideline, letting us know that she's here.
But definitely also when you market it, if you're selling a house for $1 million, 1.5 million, you have to market that property. And it's not just a bunch of pictures.
Absolutely.
And that's where, again, why do we get higher prices? If for sale by owner was so easy, then we wouldn't exist.
Yes.
Because I see about, I would say, 8 or 9 out of 10 FISBOs for us eventually wound up listing with an agent. I watch them, they sit on the market for a month, 2 months, 3 months. They realize they can't, it's not as easy as it looks. It looks easy, but it's not.
It's not. But anyway, with that, it is now, and there's plenty of people here who are on extra minutes. They're patiently awaiting their departure. But what we're going to do is, hopefully you catch a couple of things, a couple of little housekeeping notes. We'll be doing a live Thursday, I believe, for stats.
Thursday or Friday?
Thursday. Stats, and then Friday is Yahona, who made herself known earlier. Do you want to do like a spot now, so like a pre-live? Get it out of the way today. So that's coming up, and then I'll be everywhere and nothing short of like running.
You're busy.
I am just
which
exhausted.
It's a good problem to have, though.
It's not.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I'll be looking at this and looking at my eyes later and just saying how droopy my eyes look from not sleeping. But anyway, it's all part of the process. It's busy season. It's like being an accountant. You have to be busy during the season.
Busy every season.
Busy. No vacation in 2 years, so I don't know. But anyway, and then there's Ariana, who's in the audience, and if you're selling over in Captain's Quarters, she's going to be putting out a video there shortly about all of her expertise in that particular development. So hopefully we'll be seeing that this week, this coming week. Right, Ariana?
That's right.
She wants to. We're going to get her on and get lunch. She says she doesn't do it yet, but she will.
You got me to do them.
I know, but she would. I got everybody here to do them. I got Kerry to do it. I got Yahona to do it. I got you to do it. Ariana's going to be next. There'll be a few more. We're going to throw. I remember all of them. Everybody was so scared at first. You were scared at first.
Oh my God.
I remember the first few. You were like in the chair, and even Yahona was in the first shaking. Then Kerry was. Yes, it was funny. She was doing live. It was.
Because
I look back at them.
There's a difference between doing live and there's no
room.
script.
There's no room for error.
You're right. So it's a lot tougher.
Worse than dating for single
edit
people. Can't edit it once you're at the dinner table. So whatever comes out of your mouth now is gonna stick.
Right.
You can't delete lives. You can though. You can delete lives, but remember it's the internet. But anyway,
Someone has it, yeah.
someone's gonna have a copy of this.
For a screenshot.
A screenshot. Oh goodness. All right. Well, anyway, happy birthday to my son who turned 16.
Happy birthday, Matthew.
Yeah.
Birthday.
He's oh my God.
He's taller than you now, huh?
Yep. He's taller than me. He's like almost 5'10" now. He's gotten close. He'll be a
It's a
6
big
foot.
kid, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's getting there. I don't know where he gets it from, my father. But and then my mother's birthday was the day after, so happy birthday, Mom! I know that she watches.
Happy birthday.
And because she tells me she
Licciardello.
laughs at our lives on Fridays.
On Fridays.
She says we make her laugh. So obviously it's apparently a hit down in Florida. Where they watch it at
I like watching your lives.
the picnic table, and they'll be eating their pizza down.
You know what? It's
And they'll laugh
Friday.
at our
They're in a better
antics.
mood. Everybody's happy.
Yes. So it's always fun. And then like I said, geez, we have so much going on this month.
That is a great thing, though. It's a good month. We're
Yes.
busy.
Listings like nuts. We have a lot of listings coming out.
Listings.
Yes. They have one coming in. We have one just going up in Eltonville. We have another one coming up. Oh, geez.
We have the New
Seaside
Jersey.
Heights. Then we're out in North Brunswick, over in that
South
direction.
Brunswick, yeah.
Dayton, New
Dayton,
Jersey.
New Jersey.
We're everywhere. So we're hitting every corner and every end of the spectrum. And we're even selling stuff 100 miles away. So that's how good our reach is getting these days. And thanks to the crew and team that we have
Yes,
here.
the team that we have,
And,
the girls in the office.
and the agents that make this place tick. So
Yes,
I want to thank everybody.
Awesome agents. Best.
That's
Is
right.
it? See those thumbs up? That's my favorite cheerleader over there. She's the favorite. Anyway, you have a great Thursday evening. I will be heading out to my father's birthday dinner in a little bit.
Enjoy.
And then it's just been birthdays all month.
That's good.
Yeah, and we have a few coming up. Yeah, our birthdays are coming up. We have a few June birthdays in here, right?
Rena.
Who?
Yeah, she gets
Irina?
Yeah, don't miss her birthday, God. All right. Anyway, you have a great night. Vic, thank you again.
Always a
You're
pleasure.
always coming out and doing this. You've been doing this for a while now. So we'll see you on Thursday with Carrie doing the live, and Friday with Yahona doing Prodigy. Have a good night, folks. Thank you again.